Commonwealth, Commonwealth, the former empire, now Commonwealth. Is it relevant? Probably not, but why not give this part a shot? Stay tuned, here comes Uncommonwealth, the podcast.
And we're live.
All right, so this is a fun story coming out of the home country of mine, Australia. There is a dog that's been rushed to the vet. It's been quite sick because it ingested, now let me try and say this correctly, it ingested ethylene glycol, which is it's an ingredient in antifreeze. So you know the stuff you put in your car?
Yeah.
So I assume the dog's eaten antifreeze. But anyway, the antidote is alcohol. So the dog's been rushed to the vet and it's eaten a lethal amount of this ethylene glycol. And to save the dog, the vets essentially hooked him up to an IV and have, over a course of like 3 days, have been drip feeding the dog alcohol.
How did it drink the antifreeze in the first place?
It must have just
found it
in the car. It doesn't go in. Frustratingly, this article does not go into detail. I assume it's.
I feel like a little kid put it in the dog bowl.
Oh, that could be it.
Like
there could be a little culprit. Oh, Adam smells foul play.
Well, maybe innocently because
antifreeze looks cool.
It looks like Kool-Aid or blue.
It looks like
sometimes.
Kool-Aid.
That's true. Yeah, delicious.
So the dog, and does the dog? Do you get the effects of alcohol if it's, or is it just does it a chemical reaction
when it's
at all?
pure ethanol?
Well, if it's mixing with this other stuff,
The ethylene glycol is not going to give you alcoholic like.
No, but when you use the alcohol as the antidote, does the dog get drunk?
This dog was drunk. That's what I'm building up to. This dog.
Did it get on a horse and drive down to the liquor store?
No, but this
it's
dog,
that lady's dog.
Karen.
She got home from the police precinct and the dog had drunk all the antifreeze.
and she said,
Drive through Doris.
I know how to fix this. So the dog was legit drunk for like 3 days straight.
"Oh, wow!"
Yeah.
Did it become dependent on booze? Was it like craving it?
No, but now it's had a liver transplant.
Well, that's actually what they need to do because the ethyl glycine like messes up the liver. That's why they have to have all the alcohol, and then that will make the liver not process it all.
Well, I bet there must be some chemical reaction between the alcohol and the ethyl glycine that turns it into something neutral that the liver can deal with.
Turns it into it, yeah.
So it's not the liver doesn't have to then deal with either because it's some.
Listen, to be honest, as I read the article, Addison, I wasn't focused on the microbiology. I was focused on the fact that there's a drunk dog wandering around.
What kind? Did you say what kind of dog?
It's a Maltese Terrier. So those little fluffy white things.
Oh, so not a drunk. That's even funnier that it's a small.
It's
dog.
a little furball, and it was just the owner was interviewed after the dog because the dog stayed at the vet for a little bit and then was released, but had to keep having alcohol over the course of 2 days. So this dog is just stumbling around the apartment the whole time.
They always have the craziest owners too.
Oh yeah,
tiny little ones.
Have you ever seen the dogs that the tongues are always hanging out?
Yes.
Maybe they're just drunk. Maybe because they drink the antifreeze and they're in the middle of the antidote.
But so it
Did the dog have a name? Did you say the name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
Which is you'd think that it would be on a different substance with that name, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's a slang name for cocaine.
It is? Charlie?
Well, I mean, Adam, you read the Twilight books, so we're not surprised.
Wait, is it? No, seriously?
Yeah, Charlie.
Charlie. I never heard that.
Okay. Didn't you work in finance?
Finance, yes. But I think in finance you just call it cocaine. I don't think there's an effort to.
Yeah, no one's trying to hide it.
No, I never heard that. I've heard other like powder, snow.
Yep.
What other white powder? What are the other slang terms?
Oh, I'm not.
Why are you looking at me? Like, I'm not going to say.
Just going to let you incriminate yourself.
I'm not. I just I watch movies. I talk to people.
There are police that listen to this, Adam.
Okay.
So Charlie the Maltese Terrier was drunk, and this is my favorite part. When the owner was interviewed about this, Jacinta said that the dog was definitely drunk because he was stumbling around, bumping into things, and he would randomly vomit over the few days.
So they gave him enough alcohol that he threw up.
Yeah. But I suppose that's good if he had this stuff. I mean,
then you have to give him more alcohol because then you're worried he doesn't have enough alcohol.
Yeah, he needs to come down off it slowly too. You can't.
Yeah,
you got to titrate.
Yeah, you need
to. Is that the right word?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you not confidently saying no again?
No, I know what that means.
The only way to stave off the hangover is to keep boozing.
But titrate is like a controlled, controlling the flow.
That is true. Okay, so
yes, twice now.
Damn it.
19, 11, 12, 14. Okay.
So anyway, so that was the drunk dog in Australia. He did survive. He's all good. Charlie's roaming around happily. But
See,
please don't give alcohol to your dogs if you're listening.
So when I think of Charlie, I think it was a slang term from the Vietnam War.
Yes.
Not a slang term for a drug.
What? I don't.
Charlie was the name that the GIs would use for the Viet Cong. And it comes from a word that the Viet Cong said Charlie, which meant something totally different. The GIs totally misinterpreted it.
Oh.
And then started
Well, do you know why American soldiers are called GI Joes?
Because no.
So that came from World War One, I assume, when the British and American soldiers were allies, and the British soldiers obviously would be drinking tea,
Right.
and the American soldiers would drink
Coffee.
Ah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I've completely mixed all
Cup
this.
of Joe.
Cup of Joe.
But that came from a general.
Sorry, I mixed that up. The
Yeah.
Cup of Joe comes from G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Whoops. I don't know where G.I. Joe comes from then.
Wow. But do you know what year World War I started?
I believe it started because everyone was upset about the Titanic.
1913?
Yeah, the Titanic had sunken for 3 years. People just got more and more upset. We've come up with a new reason that World War I started. It wasn't the assassination of
Archduke
Ferdinand.
It was the Titanic sinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Was it also a sinking of a boat? Was it the Lusitania or something?
Yeah, but that was not...
After.
That didn't hit an iceberg. That hit a torpedo.
But
Potato.
Either way, Leo should have got an Oscar.
Yes. And stayed on the door.
There was
But anyway,
room. On that door.
There was
room on
definitely
the
room.
door.
There was definitely room.
Breaking news from the Commonwealth.
Got a breaking news.
Oh, when we do breaking news.
Breaking news is good.
Australian PM condemned for hosting fireworks-laden party while the country burns.
Wow.
That is in poor taste.
As bushfires choked out the sky, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison enjoyed a lavish New Year's Eve party complete with fireworks, earning him sharp criticism from both his constituents and from green advocates around the world.
Wait, so this was back in New Year's Eve party back in January?
Is it no longer breaking
No,
news?
no, it is. It's absolutely breaking news. It's this. It's not like 10 years ago.
No, this is very recent.
Okay.
January 1st, 2020.
I think this is also controversial because I'm pretty sure fireworks are illegal in all Australian states. So I don't know what.
They don't do like the way that the government or municipalities here will do July 4th and New Year's fireworks. They don't do that in Australia for.
Wait, what do? You like relax the law for a day?
No, like the government will do it. Like in New York here, they'll do it on the river. They'll have they'll set up a barge. with all kinds of
Yeah, we definitely do that. Like
as a private citizen, you can't.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
This sounds like he's doing it in his backyard.
It's funny, from state to state, they're illegal and illegal, and some states, like literally on the border, you have a giant fireworks warehouse and people just drive across.
You drive into North Carolina or something, and there's this huge fireworks warehouse.
Fireworks
Well,
warehouse,
I just got back from San Diego and I did a day trip to Tijuana in Mexico. And the tour guide, he said, "Listen, we're going to like a very authentic market. Everything you buy there, you can bring back in." Yeah. So I bought some dried fruits and stuff, and they had fireworks. And I said, "Mate, can I bring this back?" And he's like, "Okay, I misspoke. You cannot. You can't bring fireworks back."
I went to Tijuana and I bought some dried fruits.
No, every July 4th, like a bunch of Americans in North Carolina like blow their fingers off and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
The Giants had a player who lost a bunch of his fingers and didn't get his contract renewed.
Well, you know the ones that shoot the colored balls? People will light it and hold it and shoot it at their friends.
Roman candles.
Yeah, the Roman candles.
Well, haven't you, have you seen that film clip? It went viral of someone set up the firework in the ground and then their little schnauzer dog ran out and grabbed it and was running along with the fire. And as it was running with... the dog's fine. The dog's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that up top.
But it's the dog's galloping along, basically holding a stick, and it's shooting fireworks out horizontally sideways at ground level, and this dog's like spinning in a circle. It's very funny.
There's something about dogs getting injured. Have you noticed this? That is like, it's a no-no. Like
on stage,
you can do 10 minutes of like Holocaust jokes, and you do one joke where an imaginary dog gets injured and they're shut down.
Humans having cancer is hilarious, but if a puppy has it,
it's not funny.
Crowd will hate
it's
you.
Not. That's interesting. Okay, so what happened? Like, so he was reprimanded.
Widely reprimanded. Nothing actually came of it.
Did he apologize?
No, he didn't. He didn't apologize.
Did he get more or less flack than Trudeau with his blackface photographs? Canadian Prime Minister.
I would hope more. There wasn't a.
He's not a particularly popular Prime Minister.
Oh, really?
So he's like, there are a lot of clips of like firefighters driving. There's one that went viral of a firefighter driving past him and like giving him an obscene hand gesture and saying some obscene things.
They're like they want him to pull a Harry.
It probably did help that the country was.
That was the swimming.
It probably did help that the country was on fire at the time. You can get away with quite a lot when everything's burning.
Well, he also, I think
if Trudeau had the good sense to do blackface and set the country on fire at the same time, he might have gone away with
if the country was already burning.
Yeah.
Then
we'll just blame it on smog or something.
Isn't it the other way around? You get in more trouble. Like when something's happening, and then you go do something as a leader. Like how can you go golfing when there's kids in cages at the border? There's always something.
Well, that's why he was so deeply disliked, because he was vacationing in like Hawaii or something when all the fires started.
Oh, that's right.
And they told him about it, and he basically said, he's like, what am I going to do about it if I'm in Australia?
I'm not a firefighter. I'm the prime minister.
That was
you want me to grab a hose? What do you want me to do?
I think he said that. He said something about, what do you want me to grab a hose?
That's what he was saying, but it doesn't sound good when the country's leader's like, "What? You expect me to do something about this?"
You could see his cocktail with a little umbrella in it, and
So I'm going to go back to Australia and get on my horse and go to the liquor store drive-thru.
Well, we know that he can't do that.
Maybe on rollerblades. Okay, I've been listening to episode 2 too much.
Great episode.
Piers, I also love that you started. This happened offline. Piers just said to Adam and I, I've got some breaking news
from 3 months ago
at a New Year's party.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I've got breaking news, Piers. The Titanic, unfortunately, guys, did not make it.
And that was coming from a Commonwealth country.
Do you know?
Technically.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, so it is. That would have been, if we had been doing this podcast in 1911?
1914.
Was it 14?
1914, mate.
Are you sure?
100.
That's the year World War I started.
1912.
Titanic?
1912.
Might be getting
I think it was
confused.
pre-World War I. You were so confident.
The Titanic? 1912.
1912, yeah.
I knew it was an even number.
Yeah.
I knew it was an even number.
Okay, you were 2 years old.
I did.
1968, 1914, whatever.
I did act way more confident than I actually was.
No, you were ready. You were going to shoot me down. I just don't think it was.
Ready. I could tell that you weren't confident in 1911.
No, I didn't. All I knew is it wasn't 14.
It's like the time someone said Nelson Mandela and everyone just went real quiet and just waited for someone else to take the floor.
What's funny when you know what a person is or you know what something is, but you don't have the words at front of mind to describe it, but you have this sense of who the person was and how important they were. But
Mother Teresa.
Yeah, also good at the violin. I don't know.
The podcast.
2 truths and a lie.
Here's Adam with 2 truths and a lie, and sometimes they're all lies.
Here we go.
Okay, and we'll do 2 truths and a lie song lyrics from the band Men at Work.
Okay, nice.
Boy.
An Australian band.
This is good.
Now, technically, these could be from any song the band had recorded and
Oh, this
published.
is tough. I'm not familiar with a lot of their lesson.
Are they the land?
Technically, it could be, but practically, it's all from their.
Are they men from a land down
business as
under?
usual album?
Okay.
Just to be clear.
Are they men from a land down under? Is that's
the
their
band.
song?
That's the band.
the song.
So
okay.
let me get through all 3 quotes, and then you tell me which you think are true, which you think is a lie. Quote 1. I come from a land down under where beer does flow and men chunder. Can't you hear the thunder? These guys could rhyme, baby.
That's good stuff.
That is.
Okay. Quote 2. Traveling in a fried out combi on a hippie trail head full of zombie. And quote 3. I said, do you speak of my language? He just smiled and gave me a Marmite sandwich.
Oh, Adam, you've made this way too easy for us.
Well, which 2 do you think is true? Well, you jumped all over that one.
Is zombie like Charlie?
Maybe we should, since you already know, let Pierce
Okay.
work it out. And then
Piers can decipher. I mean, I knew from
What's
the start.
zombie?
I knew that.
Is zombie slang for what was that?
Well, combi is, I believe, a bus of some sort.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a short bus
That
or a
makes
mini bus of some sort in
Right.
Australia. I had to look that up. To be
Oh,
honest.
well, is that an Australian?
Yes.
thing? Oh, okay.
Combi.
Yeah, combi's like a little minivan type thing,
Yeah.
but in the iconically shaped.
What's zombie though?
What's zombie?
I think it's when an undead person is like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's code for anything.
Look at Adam pretending he doesn't know after admitting his love
It's
for the
extensively
Twilight trilogy.
researched.
Yeah.
Traveling in a fried out combi on a hippie trail head full of zombie. It's probably a drug.
I
God,
suspect
that's a good line.
I
It is a great
suspect
line.
it.
And it rhymes and everything.
I like the first 2. I think true, lie.
Okay. What's your logic for the third one being a lie?
The first 2 were true.
Okay. Deductive reasoning.
All right, then, Jimmy, which one do you think is a lie?
That's definitely. I know the lyrics of the entire song.
So what was what? So,
Vegemite, not Marmite.
I did. I changed Vegemite to Marmite.
Adam.
Adam.
You were all over
Adam.
that. You were all okay.
That's all. But that's like the most famous lyric in the entire song.
Was it True True Lie?
Yes, the first two were true.
He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. I'm going to be listening to this song all night now.
I Spotified the album today after
That's
I
amazing.
wrote that because I was just like, it's just I grew up on that album. That was fantastic.
The podcast.
A little news from very close to the epicenter of the Commonwealth. A man with no arms who swam for Wales, swam nationally for the country Wales.
With no arms.
With no arms. Stabbed his dad with a blade held between his toes.
What?
Okay, where was this?
Here is a picture of Rory O'Connor outside the Cardiff Crown Court.
Okay.
Okay.
So in Cardiff, Wales.
He
For those listeners, from the picture, it is clear that he does not have arms.
he is unarmed.
He's dressed like Rocky in the first Rocky.
Did he play the guy in The Fugitive?
Yes.
The
It's the one-arm man.
Yeah, fair
This guy
enough.
has zero
Hold on,
arms.
Piers. This is that classic street joke playing out. So was he, when he had the knife, was he armed or not? Like when he
Oh,
stabbed
he was
out?
towed. He was footed.
He was footed.
Is that it?
He was
Okay,
towed.
So why did it say why he stabbed his dad?
They were having an argument about
Waving.
the effectiveness of. So he was stopped by a bunch of hoodlums in the park one day, and so he was
Not the dad.
not the dad,
the armless guy.
the armless guy. So he basically took precautions to protect himself and walked around with blades in between his toes, just in case it happened again. And the father
What about was he wearing shoes?
The father was making fun of him because he didn't believe this would be an effective means of repelling attackers.
Right.
So basically, he was like, "Oh, what you gonna do?" And
What you gonna do, Wolverine?
Wolverine. He was going, "What you gonna do about it?" And his son wound up shanking him with his toes. And
damn.
Is the dad okay?
he had to go to the hospital.
Well, I would think.
Oh, so the dad, I thought that he killed him. I thought you said that he killed him.
No.
Oh, okay.
We've missed a key point here.
I just
think,
jumped
which is
to-
how bad are the armed swimmers in Wales? This guy swam. Arms are an integral part of
Very.
swimming, are they not? I'm not saying you can't swim without them, but I wouldn't expect you to be like a nationally ranked.
Well,
swimmer.
Adam, that's like did the
Have you
the
seen
guy,
Kevin Costner in Waterworld? No arms.
Well, but he had gills and webbed feet,
Oh, the web feet were key. That's true.
What do you call the guy?
and it was a movie. Sorry,
What do you call the guy with no arms who can swim the English Channel?
was that what he did,
No, you
or
call-
is this a street
This,
joke?
this is a joke. This is a street
Okay.
joke. You call him Bob. But what do you call a guy with no arms or no legs that can swim the English Channel?
Float.
You call him Dick. Okay, let's cut that.
Oh no, God no!
No.
I can hear the air horn.
I remember. I remember my mum telling me that joke when I was about 6, and I liked it because it ended with the word "dick."
I bet you, yeah. So how do we know anything about his swimming career for Wales? Like, was he a swimmer when he had arms? And do we know how he lost his arms? No, I'm just
I
asking.
wish I did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm
But
honestly,
he also played for able-bodied football teams.
I'm more
which is
impressed
easier to
that
do.
he's. I'm more impressed about his swimming.
He was the quarterback.
accomplishments.
That would have been the most interesting thing about this segment.
Do we know what like events he swam? We know nothing, other than he's stabbed his dad. No, it's interesting. No, don't.
He had a good
Look
run.
it
He had a good.
up.
He had a good swim.
No,
and he did well. So did you? But you said he swam the English Channel, didn't you? So he's like an.
No,
No, he was a competitive swimmer for
You
Wales.
shoehorn that in to tell us
okay.
your jokes.
yeah. He's trying to.
I'm making all sorts of things up in this segment.
We're adding this details of the screenplay because we want to slide this
Sure,
joke.
yeah. This actually works more if he's got a brother that we could.
A brother. What for?
I just wanted more family tension.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We can add a brother.
So he stabbed.
It was like, no, don't stab dad.
So, but I'm also concerned about the fact. So, was he just wandering around 24/7 with knives in his feet?
With no shoes on. Because how do you have knives? How do you have exposed knives between your toes if you're wearing
Maybe
shoes?
they're like those spy movies where you stomp your foot and the knife blade.
Oh, like
shoots out.
Odd Job.
Odd Job from.
Well,
James
also
Bond.
the Joker in Dark Knight.
Yes.
In that scene,
yes.
in the scene in the loft apartment,
Yeah.
he has a little blade in his shoe there.
good cultural references we've got here.
Oh yeah, good movie.
So, but that sounds incredibly dangerous. I'm surprised he didn't hurt more people than just his dad.
His dad might have been the only one that was calling him Wolverine.
Oh, that's true. Maybe other people were more respectful of bloody knife foot over there on the train.
It's interesting because what nickname do you give him? You're like, do we call him No Arms? Do we call him Knife Feet? What do we do? How do we work that all in?
Bob.
We just call him Bob.
Like the Empire, we're almost done. We hope that you've had lots of fun. Was it relevant? Probably not. But thanks for giving this part a shot. Stay tuned for the end of Uncommon Wealth, the podcast.